Hi, this is John Rowell for the Rowell Report. And today we have some first images of the consequence of the Oreshnik strike in western Ukraine, apparently aiming towards a gas storage facility that was not only one of the largest gas storage facilities in Ukraine, but also a strategic gas storage facility for Europe. So this um, place where the strike supposedly was aimed at is 50 miles from the Polish border, 80 kilometers, and that is less than the distance around the capital beltway around Washington, D.C., which is 64 miles. So if you were to drive the complete beltway around Washington, D.C., 64 miles, you would already have traveled more distance than the location of this strike to the Polish border, which is, of course, NATO. So Russia is sending a very clear signal. Also, were there any Polish jets scrambled? I don't even think that the pilots could get into the cockpit in time to get the plane off the runway by the time they knew that this Oreshnik missile was in the air before it hit its target. So why even scramble a jet for an Oreshnik? This also sends a very clear signal to NATO that the Oreshnik will arrive in case of a conflict between Russia and NATO. This Oreshnik will arrive to anywhere really in Poland, in the Baltics, in Finland, in Sweden, or even in Norway before you can even scramble a jet to try to shoot it down. So this has sent panic waves through the European leaders, some like Giorgia Meloni calling for an immediate attempt to restart some sort of dialogue between the European countries and Russia, and other countries like the UK, France, and Germany calling the Oreshnik strike escalatory and unacceptable. So here we have the first view of the consequence. Now this is red. Hopefully the person who uploaded the photo didn't recolor it or use some sort of filter, but you can see that the colors below the red glow of the Oreshnik missile strike seem to be natural and normal. It's a winter scene. You see white snow and you see the light. You see the house. Everything looks kind of normal. And then you have this red glow, which is something that is terrifying, I'm sure, to anyone who thinks that Oreshnik could come to one's own country. So this really seems to be waking people up in Europe. So, but anyway, we have a red color here, and here's another image, which is kind of yellowish. And I don't know if this, the timing, which one was first or next. So strange that one color is yellow and the other is red. So, anyway, this is probably in the morning. And if some have ever heard of the saying, red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. Well, it's red sky in the morning, Ukraine take warning, and I would say NATO as well. So anyway, we have this image, which is a still image, and here this is a video. So I'm just going to play this video. So it's a car stopped on, looks like a country road. And there we have it. It is the result. This could have been the initial kaboom, and then this would be kind of the resulting fire. I don't know which image came first, which image came second, and and as I say, this could have been colored by some filter. So it's hard to say what is the actual color of the result of the Oreshnik missile. But anyway, it is obvious that something big happened in western Ukraine, and if these photos are actually taken of towards the direction of the target, then we're obviously putting out a visual representation of why not to be on the wrong end of an Oreshnik missile. So again, here's this other image taken from a car driving in the country, and it looks like there is an intense white above the lower yellow, a darker yellow color. So this could have been kind of, I wouldn't call it like a mushroom cloud, but anyway, if this was a gas storage facility and it made a direct impact and made an explosion, then I'm sure the initial impact would be either red or yellow. So anyway, moving on, here is a comparison between the Oreshnik strike from yesterday compared to the Oreshnik strike in November of last year, November 21. So I'll play this and you can see the comparison. Sorry I can't zoom in any better, but I will leave the link below so you can connect to this image as well if you like. So here we go. And if we can get that going. So in the strike in November of last year, the individual MIRV capsules that detach from the Oreshnik missile and then are independently targeted just seem to come down into one spot all at the same time in waves. So anyway, this was Russia saying that we have this missile, but without using any warheads. Why, after the missiles come down, we don't see an immediate like mushroom cloud or explosion or glow? Possibly because of the distance. But anyway, I'll just play this again so you can see it. So it seemed that the strike yesterday, the little individual capsules that are targeted seem to come down into two general areas, and it's hard to see from that image how many of the MIRV capsules or warheads were fired from the Oreshnik. It appears that it could be more than 6, but it's not clear enough to be able to determine. It looked to me like 7 or 8, but anyway, it could be even more than that. So anyway, here is the reaction from European leaders. Okay, so we have what I mentioned earlier about Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni saying it was time for the EU to resume high-level dialogue with Russia, saying a special envoy could be created for talks on Ukraine. And who would create this envoy? Of course, it would be Kaja Kallas, the top diplomat for the European Union, and Kaja Kallas has been spewing out hatred and all sorts of nasty things about Russia ever since she took her position. So I can't see how Kaja Kallas could suddenly show up in Moscow and say, we want to have peace, and we want to look for ways to move forward to better our relationship. She even said that she wants to break Russia up into 3 chunks. So that is kind of the whole goal of 30 years of Western effort to insert opposition within Russia, to pressure Russia from the outside economically, and to isolate Russia politically, was to create a situation in which Russia could be broken up into little chunks, and then each chunk could be, isolated and could be milked by the Western countries for all its natural resources. So I can't see of anyone in the European Union right now, other than maybe the leader of Hungary or Slovakia, but they're not really on the inside either, and they wouldn't really serve as primary go-betweens. And so, and as I mentioned also, here we have the comment of the UK, France, Germany said Russia's use of Oreshnik missile in Ukraine is escalatory and unacceptable. So since when did Russia really care what UK, France, and Germany think, especially when Germany completely dropped the ball with the Nord Stream pipeline, when Joe Biden stood there at the podium and said, we're going to destroy the Nord Stream pipeline, and you had the German leader standing right next to him, didn't say anything, didn't complain, nothing like that. France and the UK both have long histories of trying to destroy Russia. We have the UK invasion of Crimea in the 1800s. We have France invasion of Russia in the early 1800s. So both the UK and France were essentially allies of the Soviet Union during World War II. And after World War II ended, they began to take on a very a stronger and stronger negative tone towards Russia, and they have been providing ample support of Ukraine, and of course making constant declarations against Russia. And now with the most recent declaration of the UK that they're going to establish military hubs all throughout Ukraine, I think that basically there's no possibility of healing this relationship. And of course, UK and France really have nothing that they can provide for you. UK and France have really nothing they can provide for Ukraine. And finally, so we have, go to the top of this article. So the France 24, from which I'm pulling this, reports that Ukraine is treating the Oreshnik strike as a war crime. So yes, and of course they provide an image of a building where the Oreshnik did not strike. And I doubt that we will get any images from the strike, because that would be providing information to Russia about the consequences of their Oreshnik missile strike. But anyway, they have taken an image which is completely unrelated to the Oreshnik strike and put that as their primary image. So basically saying that Russia is attacking civilian infrastructure, and the gas storage facility is both, you can say, civilian and military. Russia is focusing on military infrastructure, so if Ukraine has dual usage infrastructure, both military and civilian, of course, that puts it on the the bullseye of one of these missile strikes. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the red glow of the Oreshnik missile strike and see the implications of this strike in Ukraine and Europe. And we will hopefully get some visual evidence of what the Oreshnik missile did and did not do. Is it the missile that was hyped from back in November, or was it kind of a dud? Well, if you see this red glow, you kind of think, I don't think it was a dud. So then how bad is the damage? And with Zelenskyy saying that this was a war crime, sounds to me like there was substantial damage there in the gas storage facility. So anyway, I will leave it at that, and I'll be back for another video later with more information about the Oreshnik. And if you have any comments to leave, please do so below. Please be respectful. And also, if you are new to this channel, welcome. Please subscribe to support this channel and help it grow. And if you like the content, please like and share. So thanks again for joining me, and I wish you all the very best. Take care. Bye-bye.